Welcome back. We're going to do another Lightroom tutorial today. And this tutorial will be all about saving time in Lightroom so you can get out and go create some more images. But before we do the tutorial, you know what time it is. It's dad joke time. Here's your dad joke. When does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. Apparent. Get it? Dad, parent, joke. Okay. All right, let's save some time in Lightroom. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do to get started. To get started with saving some time in Lightroom, I'm gonna show you 3 different ways to save time in Lightroom, each of them usable at different times and in different ways. But to get started, the third way I'll show you to save time is using presets, which are pre-built edits to photos. So we're gonna go download some of those. They're on Canvas in your module for this class, which is class number 13. So we're going to head over to Canvas to download a preset package, which has about 20 presets in it for you to use. I've downloaded these and assembled them for you. So here's how we do that. Go head over to Canvas into the module for today's class and look for free Lightroom presets.co2.zip. Easy name, right? Click it once. Go up here to the download, click that once, and it'll send it to your computer. And depending on where you have your computer saving things, it might go, okay, so if you're on a PC, it is probably in your downloads folder. You'll need to expand that. So you'll need to expand the .zip file so you can get at it. I suggest just moving it to your desktop. Mine is already expanded on my desktop, one of the wonders of using Safari on a Mac. I told it to save it to my desktop, and as it's saved it, it uncompressed it. All right, so let's go back to Lightroom. So what I want to show you today is some ways to save time in Lightroom. One of the awesome advantages of using software like Lightroom is the ability to take an edit we've applied to one photo and apply it to a second photo. Save time, right? So let me show you how that works. There's a couple ways to do it. I'll show you the fastest way first, which is also the least flexible. And then I'll show you a way that's almost just as fast and has some more flexibility, and then we'll get into presets. So let's start with the first way. So go ahead to go find a photo you've edited in your Lightroom catalog. It can be anywhere. I'm working in the nature stuff here. I found a photo and I'm gonna switch over to the develop module. All right, so find a photo that's got some edits already made to it, so that you think, oh, this is a good baseline to use on photos maybe of similar type, or I just want to apply it to a different photo. So I've got all my edits. I'm looking here at the basic panel. Look at, I've moved almost everything there. I'm down in HSL. I've moved a bunch of things. Split toning, I've moved things. Vignetting, I've done a little bit of that. So lots of edits. So what I want to do with this is save time and apply these exact same edits to this photo. And all I have to do is one thing. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Here we go. So the one thing you do is once you've clicked on the photo you want to apply the changes to, down here at the bottom of your screen on the right-hand side, click on the previous button. So click it once, and all those edits are applied to this photo now. So if I look between the two photos, in this case, I'm on photo number 63 and photo number 58, the edits are the same. So the slider positions in Lightroom are exactly the same. What do you notice? The photos don't look the same. The photos don't look the same because they started off different. All the things I'm going to show you time-saving wise are starting points. Starting points. They're a click to get you started. So for example, let's go back to photo 58 here, this red flower. And if I applied it to photo 59, so now I'm going to click on previous here, they look really similar because it's a photo with similar colors, similar brightness, similar composition, similar backgrounds. So the edits from one to the other will look roughly the same. Okay. So what this is doing is cloning every edit in the develop module to the second photo. Every edit. So this includes spot removal. This includes cropping. This includes adjustment brush, gradient filter, everything you do. As you might imagine, there's a downside to that, because especially the spot removal stuff, and cropping to a lesser degree, very rarely transfers exactly from one photo to another. Let me tell you a funny story about that. So I was editing a sequence of wedding photos where I was the assistant photographer, and it was the bridal party photos, and in one there was a spot in the sky that I just did a little spot removal on. And so what I was doing was going through my selected photos and applying the same edits with the previous button. So I would go right arrow, previous, right arrow, previous, right arrow, previous. So I was working through 5 or 6 photos really quickly. Too quickly. Because what happened when I sent the photos off to the lead photographer, she emailed me back, look at this photo. It was one of the bridal party. One of the groomsmen had like a weird splotch on his nose because the spot removal from the very first photo I started with was where his nose was on the 5th photo. So be aware of that. It's going to copy everything. Here's the other limitation to this using the previous button. It's fine when I'm in a collection, when I'm in an album of photos basically, but it's hard to go from one collection to another collection because I'm not necessarily clicking directly on the destination photo I want to apply this to. So I have my source photo here, and then if I go to a different collection over here, let's say I'll go to nature camera. Well, that's where I was, sorry. So we'll go to a different one. We'll go to Lightroom 4. It's going to go to the first photo in that collection when I really maybe wanted to apply it to the 5th photo. Okay, so it works within collections, but not jumping around into different spots in your library. Okay, but it's really fast, super easy to apply the edits from one photo, click on another, and then click previous, and that looks terrible. So I'm going to undo that. I don't think I've ever told you about the undo. Here's another time saver. It's under the edit menu, undo, paste settings, or on a Mac, it's Command Z. On a PC, it's Control C. So, okay, easy. Or you can always go back in the history panel and just click the last step you were on. Easy, time saving. All right, so that is the previous method. It's the first method of saving some time in Lightroom. Let me show you a second method, and it does a lot of what the first method does, but it gives you a little more control. So let me show you that right now. So we're going to start with this photo here of the single flower, and you got to be in the develop module again. So what I'm going to do this time is copy these settings and then paste them onto another photo. So this works well across multiple photos, across collections. It's sticky in a sense. Plus, it has some benefits like this. All right, so the way you copy settings is very simple. Just go up to the settings menu at the top of your screen, click there once, and then scroll down to copy settings. And then it will open a new window with all the possible settings you can copy from one photo to another. So which ones do we want? Which ones don't we want? Depends. I often will turn off the spot removal. So I'll click on it to uncheck it, which means it will not copy to the other photo. I also generally uncheck the crop because the crop only works on exactly that photo unless I was on a tripod, but then what difference would there be? So all the other ones I'll leave alone for now. I'll leave those. So I'm going to click on copy to complete this part of the process. Now I need to find a destination photo to apply these settings to. So let's click on this one. So I started at photo 112, I'm now on 117. And now what I do is go to the settings menu and paste settings, which is Shift Command V on a Mac, Shift Controls V for Victor on a PC. So there's the same setting. So again, all of these sliders, all the settings from one photo are exactly duplicated on this other photo. And again, remember, this is a starting point. You're not necessarily done because this photo's got some different stuff in it, some different brightnesses. So maybe I want to make it a little darker, or I want to add a little more texture or a little more vibrance, or whatever you might want to do, or maybe just crop it differently because I didn't crop it at all. So maybe I want to do some kind of crop to change the whole story, but get all the other edits. So this is really fast. I can go work on a different photo. Let's see, maybe we'll work on this photo, and now I'm going to click settings, paste settings, and again, it will apply, oh, that's kind of cool, all those settings to this photo. That's here's one of the fun things of doing this on a photo that's totally unconnected to your image you were working on, is you will get some surprises like I just had. I've never done this on this photo, applied that setting to this. It's a good way to experiment, to try the unexpected, to do something you normally wouldn't normally do with a photo. I have a normal way I edit photos, and sometimes I get in a rut. Ruts happen, and this is a little different. So those are the first two ways to apply settings from one photo to another. And again, the copy setting way is volatile in that if you quit Lightroom, shut down your computer, it goes away. But what if I want to save these settings? Oh my goodness, I need this on more photos. I can see where I would use this setting on more photos down the road. Well, what you can do is save these permanently, and the process of doing that is called presets. So this is the third way to save time in Lightroom, is either creating your own or using someone else's presets. Before I go further with presets, I need to say something very important, especially with presets. This is very, very important. I've said it already. I'm going to say it again. Presets are only a starting point. 99 times out of 100, when you click on the preset to get the look you want on the photo you have, it's not done. It's not a one click and walk away. Remember that. Okay. But I do want to save this as a preset because I have some other photos like this, that this would be a good starting point instead of moving, however many sliders are here. There's probably 15 or 20. Maybe I'll just move 2 or 3 because it gets me in the range I want to be in to start from. All right, so here's how you save a preset. In the Develop module, at the top on the left-hand side, there is a panel called Presets. And Lightroom has some presets already built in. They're not super fantastic, but they work. They're in 3 different groups. We've got color, creative, and black and white. And if you want to see the ones in each, click the little triangle to the left and it will expose the different ones. If you put your mouse over each preset, it will show you what the image will look like. If you click on the preset name, it will apply that preset. Okay, so if I wanted to apply this preset of cool light, I would click and it would add those or apply them to this. Okay, I'm going to undo that real quick because I want to get back to where I started. So I'm going to go to my history panel. Where are we? Nope. There we go. That's where we... Okay. So this is where we started. I'm sorry. I want to save this look, this preset. Here's how you save your own preset. So what I'm going to do is back at the top of the preset panel, on the right-hand side, there's a plus sign. I'm going to click that plus sign, and I'm going to click the option to create preset. So this is going to look similar to the when we copied the settings. This is choose which settings you want to have added to this preset. So what I want to do is choose the settings, and you'll notice I cannot choose the radial or graduated filters, and there's no spot removal brush in here. So actually there's no crop in here either. So a lot of the selective edits are not optional here, or the tool edits, I should say. So give your preset a name that makes some sense. So I'm going to call this dramatic blue, because it's got a lot of blue in it and it's dramatic. Don't just call it preset 1, preset 2. You'll never remember what it is. Give it a little descriptive name. You'll notice the names in Lightroom are, like desaturated contrast, cool light, turquoise, and red. So it gives you a sense of what it might do. And then what group do you want the preset to be saved in? I have created a preset folder with my initials in it, so that's where it's going to save. And then just click create. So now I can apply this. I'm going to apply this preset. My presets are down here. I'm going to click on dramatic blue. I don't even have to click on it, but there I go. And now you get those changes. So that's how this works. The idea of saving presets of your own. A great way to save time. If you find you do lots of things similarly across the board, boom, there you go, just save them. I want to show you how to import presets from another source. We'll do that in just a moment. So let's take a look at how to install those presets you downloaded at the beginning of this video. And if you didn't download them yet, go ahead and do that. Quick note about presets you might find online. If you just do a Google search for free Lightroom presets, you'll find lots of options. Be a little careful. Some of the sites are kind of clickbaity, have some viruses that get installed. That's why I took some time to download these for you. Often you'll have to give up at least your email address. So be a little careful out there looking for free presets. Make your own. You're an artist. You can do this. All right. So here's how we add presets that are not already in Lightroom. So again, we're going to start at the top of the presets panel in the develop module. So start at the top on the right-hand side. Click on the presets, the plus sign of the presets. And what we're going to do this time is import presets. Import presets. Click it once. And navigate to where you save those free Lightroom presets.co to folder. So mine's on my desktop. So I'm on my desktop and then free Lightroom. And what I need to do is select all of these. So I'm going to do Command A on my Mac with that folder selected, so it selects all the contents. Control A on a PC, or just, there's lots of ways to select all of them. So once you have them selected, just click import. Boom. It's just that easy, folks. And now when you come down to your user presets, you will have a whole bunch of new ones. You'll have about 20 new presets. They start with Third Dimension, Avocado Heights, Captain America, Catch a Fire, Cold Fact. So you can see how these have different names and they do some different things as you mouse over them. So here's a quiz. If let's say I apply Captain America to my photo. So I clicked on it, so it's now moved all the sliders to match the Captain America preset. Am I done? Nope, not done. Because two things. One, I really don't like how this looks on this photo, but even if I did kind of like it, I would need to fine tune it. So let me undo that and find one maybe I do like better, like this Garden Grove one. That's cool. It's kind of gardeny. The greens are really bright, maybe too bright. So I'm going to come down here to Luminance, HSL, Luminance, and I'm going to pull down the brightness in the greens and the yellows. So I'm not done, but I was pretty close. I was pretty close. So that's what this presets let you do, is they let you do a couple fun things. They save you time. Here's two fun things they let you do. They let you experiment. So again, maybe you're like, well, I would never think to make my photo look that way. Huh, I kind of like that. So it's a learning process of, oh, I would try. You get a look that you normally wouldn't do by just moving the sliders your normal way. And I find that's really helpful to me sometimes. Also, it's a great education tool because if you click on this and go, well, how did they do that? Then what you do is you just come into the panels and take a look and see what was done. Look and see, okay, what was done in the basic. Okay, just not much. Some clarity, vibrance, and saturation were turned down. Let's take a look at HSL. Okay, we're playing with the luminance, the saturation of different colors. A lot of times, and I have not covered this in class yet, a lot of this stuff is on the tone curve, as you can see here. Here's what the tone curve adjustment does without it. It's a pretty big change. My suggestion for tone curve, I haven't made a video on it yet. Just do on YouTube, Lightroom Classic tone curve. There's some good videos out there. So yeah, that's what the tone curve. Quite a big difference. And then what else we got? Split toning. Nothing happening in split toning. What else we got? We got nothing in all that. Anything down here in calibration? Yeah, they're moving colors around here. Again, I have not covered this. It's a little complicated, and I'm not sure I 100% understand it. Sometimes I'll just move things around to see what happens. Again, here's what that's doing. So it's just nudging. It's adding a little saturation in the green and so on and so forth. Anyway, great way to learn. Great way to learn Lightroom. Great way to save time. But please, please, please remember, presets are not one click and done. Please don't just, ooh, let me apply. I'm going to do this on my on this image. Let's see. I'm going to apply this, and I'm done. Although I do kind of like it, but it changed the photo quite a bit. So maybe what do I want to do? Maybe now it's a little too cold, so I want to take the temperature slider and go back to the warmer side a little bit. Now I'm done. Okay, so it may not mean you have to move very many things, but maybe you just move 1 or 2 sliders to match the overall mood of the photo that you were anticipating. Again, presets are awesome. They help you save time. They help you try new things on your photos, and they also help you learn how Lightroom works. If you want to know how they got that look, just look at the recipe of all the sliders in the basic panel. Not the basic panel, all the panels. Okay, but remember, presets and also the other 2 ways I mentioned are often not just one click and done. You will likely need to make adjustments, but they save you lots of time. You overcome the friction of, oh, I don't want to edit one more photo. You start there, and then you just, oh, I can do 1 slider. Okay, so those are some time-saving tips in Lightroom Classic. I hope you find them very helpful. I hope they add to your enjoyment of this process, which I find super fun. If you have questions or want to add suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Send me an email, and I would be glad to communicate with you about Lightroom presets and other ways to save time in Lightroom. If you have other, time-saving tips, I'd love to hear those as well. So that concludes the time-saving video. I'm kind of rambling, so I'm going to cut it short here and say we're done with saving time in Lightroom. And until the next video, be safe out there, wash your hands, and stay well.